Welcome once again. My name is Marvinetta Woodley Penn, and I am your host for All Stories Matter here at Public Media Network. And I have to say this. I came to Kalamazoo just a couple of years ago, and one of the first places I came to was the Epic Center. And I found Public Media Network, and there was just something about the energy in this place that was so warm and inviting and encouraging. So I said, I am going to get a membership here, and I am going to do a podcast. And I have interviewed over, I'd say about 50 people since I started doing this, and it has been an amazing experience. So I invite you guys out there to either one of two things or three things, perhaps. Support Public Media Network with a generous donation. Come down and get a membership and start your own podcast or your own program. There are lots of opportunities to do amazing things here at Public Media Network. And number three, just come down. Come down, get to know the team here, get to see the space, and see if it's something that you might like to pursue in the future. Now, I am so happy to be doing this show because I believe that all stories matter, that everyone, I don't care who you are, I don't care what your experience has been, I don't care how old you are, you have a story. I interviewed a young man shortly before Christmas, and he was so interesting that I had to get his story in 2 episodes. I just found out recently that he made his transition, and his father was able to see those episodes, so he has his son's voice, his son's story, his son's image forever, for posterity. So I'm so honored to have been able to sit across from him and hear his story. So much life, so much vision, so much hope, so much of his essence came out in that interview. So please take time to ask someone about his or her story, to tell your story, especially to your children. I heard today that you die twice, that we die twice. First time is when our body goes through that transition. The second time is when people stop talking about you. Ooh, the second death is even more powerful than the first. So I challenge you again to do something in your life worthy of you. Do something worthy of you. I go into the schools, I work with young people. Whoa. And I try to give them something that they might remember when they leave the classroom. And today, I have the pleasure, the honor of having 2 wonderful, amazing, brilliant young people from Loy Norrix High School. I have Paul Evans and I have Savannah Robert. I got it right. I pat myself on the back. I have them in the studio with me, and so we're going to have a conversation. We're going to start with them just telling me their story. Savannah, ladies first, Paul.
Surely, okay.
Savannah, why don't you tell me your story? Anywhere you want to start.
Yeah, for sure. I grew up in Kalamazoo. I've pretty much been on the west side my whole life. I went to elementary school at Winchell Elementary, then middle school at Maple Street, Magnet School for the Arts, and then I went to Loy Norrix.
So why did you go to the Maple School for the Arts?
I think it was just my district area. Sorry.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The area of where I reside. I know they split up the schools, and a lot of also my friends were also a factor. Just the people that I've grown up with going to in Winchell, they also transitioned to Maple Street. So.
Okay. Are you an artist?
I mean, I dabble, I guess.
Okay. What did you dabble in while you were at Maple Street? Maple Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I grew my love for learning a language, as well as just a big appreciation for the arts in general. I transitioned that. I didn't take it as much in high school. I kind of moved towards academics when I started high school, but appreciating both theater and the arts physically, and learning, just appreciating education in the whole. That's where that's what I really took from
Wonderful,
yeah.
because all of the arts need people in the audience, coming to the institute, coming to the museum, patronizing the arts, so that is volunteering.
Yeah.
So you never know what track you might take. In fact, the Arts Council is just right down on the second floor, and they're always looking for volunteers. Do you know about the Arts Council?
Yes, I do.
Always, and KDI is across the street, so
Yeah.
you get lots of opportunities around Kalamazoo. And Kalamazoo is so rich with the arts.
Yes.
The offerings are just amazing. We're going to come back to your story, because I know there's a whole lot more. I'm going to dig down in that story, uncover a lot. So, Paul, what's your
Hi.
story?
Yeah, so I also grew up in Kalamazoo. I grew up on the south side in the Edison neighborhood, a fairly large neighborhood with lots of heart and love. I started elementary school at Paramount Charter Academy, actually. And then I moved around a couple times, one being to Washington before ending my elementary career at Parkwood Upjohn. And then, just like Savannah, I also went to Maple Street Magnet School for the Arts, and then ending my K-12 career here pretty soon at Loy Norrix.
So, did you study the arts at Maple?
Yeah, so I went more towards the fine arts route, in particular choir. So I love to sing, and I love to make music. So shout out to my middle school choir director. She really helped me fall in love with music and kind of find my voice. So yeah.
What are you?
In
Tenor, baritone?
I'm a tenor bass, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
tenor
tenor
bass.
one on a good day.
Okay.
Not in the morning, though.
Tenor one on a good day. I can understand
Yes,
that.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you still active? Are you still singing in a chorus? Are you singing on your own, or what?
Yeah, so I sang in church for a while, but then I started middle school choir in 6th grade and then carried it into high school until, my sophomore year, and then I left to pursue something else. But I'm hoping pretty soon to kind of, reopen that door of singing and performing, because
Because you're on
ideally
stage
missed it.
too. You're acting.
I have in the past.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
anytime recently. But
Okay. Did you do
yeah.
musical theater?
Yeah, so
Okay.
my freshman and sophomore year, I did both the musicals and then one of the plays. So yeah, I've had my fun with theater in high school as well, and then I did some some smaller stuff at church too.
Wonderful.
So, yes.
Awesome.
Thank
So,
you.
what church do you go to?
I go to the River. It's actually pretty close to here over on Walbridge Street.
The River?
The
I've
River,
never
yeah.
heard of it.
It's a Protestant Christian church. We do, the traditional worship on Sundays, and then some classes on Wednesday nights as
Okay.
well. So,
Nice. So,
yeah.
Savannah, do you go to church?
Yes, I do.
Give a shout out to your churches. Hey,
Yes.
you never know who's going to see this.
My uncle is actually a pastor. That's where I've been since I was born, at Christ Temple Church off Go Road. And then my mom, when she remarried, he's a pastor, her husband. His name is Barry Cox, and they actually teach online now. We've had a few places where we like actually go in person, but it's mostly online. It's called Agape Apostolic Church. But yeah, grew up apostolic, Pentecostal, and yeah, very rooted in church. Whole family's very churchy, if you will. That black,
Cool.
like Southern, yeah.
Very nice.
My mom brought it from when she's always grew up in that sector. From Texas, she moved here when she had the sibling I'm closest to.
So you were born in Texas?
No, I was born
You were
here.
born here.
But
You're older?
I have 3 siblings.
Okay.
I have, my sister and my older brother were born in Texas, and then the brother I'm closest to in age, we were born in Michigan.
Okay. What brought her to Michigan from Texas?
She actually, this is a deep, sad story, but it's
That's
good.
okay.
She loves sharing it, and
Yeah.
she's grown a lot from it. But
Yeah.
I would definitely shout it out. She had my oldest brother at 16, and she basically she brought her life up from being in kind of gang affiliated lifestyle that she lives, kind of growing up in an abusive household. But she got out. She has 7 siblings, and a few of them got out just before her. And my uncle, who actually is the pastor at Christ Temple, he had moved up here after college, and she came a little bit after he finished college, and his wife's brother is who she married when she got up here and had my other brother. Yeah.
Okay. It is so important, and kudos to your mom for telling you her story, because your story can be an inspiration. An inspiration. Her story is an inspiration for you, and you telling that story can be an inspiration for other girls.
Yeah, now
for other girls and young men. Go ahead.
She actually is now a nurse practitioner, and she just got her PhD last year, and so
Go, Mom.
She's on her 5th degree. So yeah, she definitely came from the bottom up. Yeah.
I am so proud of her. Now I should have had her on the show in his third seat. Oh, that is so awesome. Tell her I am proud of her when you go home. Yes, yes. Oh, and I know she is so proud of you, because you are walking in her footsteps. I can see that you're going to be a huge success. Are you aiming for 5 degrees? That's
probably not that many,
but big shoes to fill.
Hopefully close, yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to talk about you guys' future in a little bit. Sure. Paul, tell me, what was it like growing up in Kalamazoo?
Sure. Yeah. So it's always been a very, very welcoming community. I'm a place where I can feel like I can be myself. My parents have definitely showed me around this city, you know, kind of the ups and downs of it, the touristy spots like the Air Zoo, and like the more private local spots. Like there's this really cool art display behind the Kalamazoo Parks and Rec Center. And we like to call it Tribal Council, referencing Survivor, the fun show. So yeah, it's just kind of been really
Parks
fun to...
and Rec Center? I don't even think I know that.
Yeah, so the Kalamazoo Parks and Rec Center, I believe it's on Mill Street, run by the city of Kalamazoo. There's a bridge that goes over the Kalamazoo River, and there's like kind of some woodsy areas back there. Yeah. And there's some cool art sculptures and stuff. I definitely recommend for
that right?
Yeah. We actually explored that spot a lot during COVID. We liked to take bike rides and go on walks, just to, get out of the house, because we were, doing school, work all day, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we would take our dog up there sometimes, walk, and, just enjoy the art and the weather. So.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I do, yeah. So my oldest sister is actually here in town, and she has my nieces and nephews, and then I have an older brother who is a reporter in Chicago. And then I have a middle sibling who also is living here in Kalamazoo. Then there's me, and then my younger brother.
Nice.
Yeah. So the 3 of them are older and out of the house, grown. It's just me and my younger brother still left.
So what's your brother's name in Chicago?
Maxwell Evans. I don't know if I just gave the full government, but
yeah. No, it's okay.
Yeah,
I dabbled in that area, so I'm thinking I might know him. Maxwell, is he with a local channel, a local station?
Yeah, he got his journalism degree from Michigan State University, and now is with Block Club Chicago in Kalamazoo, covering in Chicago. Covering the Hyde Park and South Shore neighborhoods in Chicago.
Nice.
So, yeah, their goal
Block
is
Club
to...
Chicago. I know the people who started that.
Do you really?
I do.
Yep, my brother Maxwell Evans, he's a reporter there.
Awesome.
But, yeah, I know, as you probably know, their goal is to bring light to the city of Chicago, rather than, with the bigger news sources kind of focus on the bad. They're going for more of the heart and community. So.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So, what... from your perspective, what is life like for the average youth of color in Kalamazoo?
Yeah.
I know you don't have a lot to compare it to, but just thinking about your friends, your associates, you seeing other young people, maybe not at Loy Norrix, but you might know of some young people who are in elementary school. What would you say life is like for them these days?
I think being in Kalamazoo, we're at a point of privilege where we get to have a very diverse community and a very accepting community compared to a lot of other places, even in Michigan, compared to places upstate like people can be a lot more stuck in like these old ways, but I feel like Kalamazoo is a very progressive city compared to like places in the South, especially what's going on even now. So growing up, I've never felt super marginalized just as somebody going to school. I've always felt like there was a connection that I could make. I always felt like I was in a diverse space. And I know that's definitely something I hold at like a point of privilege that not a lot of people get to experience and even have the opportunities that have had growing up.
Such as
Being able to like have a community that I can count on, even if that like my home space being diverse, knowing that there are other people out there walking their own paths and that not everything is linear. A lot of people don't get to experience that or even learn that, especially in the South where it's a little bit more conservative or, like I said, kind of stuck in their ways. But growing up, like I always had, again, like support. Of course, as a Black young woman, I've experienced my fair share of racism and microaggressions, but just from just living, it's not always in my community per se, but specifically like living here, I think I've had it pretty good compared to others. I definitely wouldn't trade it for anything else, especially living here.
Awesome. So I hear you say that you feel that the nature of Kalamazoo is very welcoming, is very engaging, is very accepting, and it's very nurturing. Not just, and if you have this family, you have this nucleus of a family, but outside you can still feel like you're a part of a greater community that is there to push you, to give you experience, help you with experiences, to help you realize all that you can be. That is a blessing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That is, as you said, privilege. Not many. I taught in Chicago and I work with all kinds of young people. Not a lot of young people. And I venture to say, correct me if I'm wrong, there are still young people in Kalamazoo who might not feel that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's everywhere. It's just,
Yeah. But I'm so happy to hear you guys say that your experience has been different. Very good. So tell me about Loy Norrix. Because first of all, I had to look up when I started teaching at Loy Norrix and when I started doing our the Rotary Strive program there, I had to look up who Loy Norrix was, and I realized he was the first he was the superintendent of Kalamazoo Public School, and then they named the school after him. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So his story will always be told.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Paul, tell me about life at Loy Norrix. What is one thing that surprised you and challenged you at the same time, or maybe different times?
Okay. So before I went to Loy Norrix, first of all, I was kind of already familiar, obviously, with the Kalamazoo Public School setting, like the diversity and the love that is the entire district. So when I first went to Loy Norrix, it wasn't much of a surprise. I think the only thing that was a surprise was how large it was and like the amount of people that was there. Obviously, little old 14-year-old me coming in as a freshman wasn't expecting to see all these big, tall, giant seniors, and now I am that big, tall, giant senior. Hope I'm not scary though. But yeah, so life there is, I'd say it's pretty easygoing. The staff are super duper sweet. I've made really great relationships with my peers
Is that just because of the kind of person you are, Paul?
Well, I don't want to credit it to myself. I want to credit it to the community.
I'll tell you now it is.
Yeah. But
okay.
Yeah, so I really appreciate the amount of time and effort that the staff put into making sure students feel welcome and safe and are actually learning something at school. And also, all the credit to our principal, Chris Aganaga, as well, because we wouldn't be in the leadership positions that we're in at our school without his support as well. So,
and what is that leadership position?
Yeah, not to sound vain, but we hold a few.
Stop putting
So-
yourself. Stop. Well, not me, and not to be vain. No, I hold a leadership position. Go ahead.
So one thing I really love about Savannah is that we're very similar in a lot of ways, and we have a lot of the same passions and morals. So we tend to do a lot of things together, especially when it comes to organizing and social justice and stuff like that. So we are both co-class presidents of the class of 2026.
Yeah. So they're graduating seniors.
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. Yeah. And then we both hold significant leadership positions on our school student senate as well. So we are responsible for advising the student body. And then we actually, this Friday, we have a new club that we've started. Well, not necessarily started, a movement that we're joining, a national movement that's out of every town. And it's called Students Demand Action. So that is a gun violence prevention nonprofit organization. And what students can do is they can get all trained up. There's like regional leaders and folks to help you with it. And you can start a chapter in your community, in your school, your college, wherever you're at. And we decided to start a chapter at Loy Norrix. So we have our first meeting this Friday.
Oh, wow.
So we're super excited about
And
that.
what are some of your goals for that club?
I mean, one of the first things that we thought of even coming into this was just kind of the state of what's going on now, just with gun violence as a whole in the nation. But I think we've done a good job at kind of focusing in on Kalamazoo specifically. We've had actually a few even the 4 years that we've been at high school, a few of our peers that have died due to gun violence, both in like their community and just personally. And I know we've all felt it as just a school community. And it's been time to do something about it. And that's something we want to focus on, just bringing awareness, giving people resources to find help or how to report, be mandated reporters, because everybody is technically, even if you're not holding a position, how to just assess what's going on with the world with even gun violence in your community and gun violence globally or nationally. We definitely want to be just another voice, amplify the movement that's going on now, because there are a lot of people fighting, and then we kind of want to add on to that. We want, because that's how things change.
Yes,
with adding on to the movement, adding on to the voice, because eventually somebody has to hear us.
Yes.
So that's what kind of our goals are right now. I think at our meeting we'll kind of feel out what everybody else is thinking about. I've even gotten texts now, like just today, that like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be at the meeting. I can't wait to see what we're gonna talk about. And you can definitely feel the community. We're really excited to just uplift this.
So you guys are very engaged. Sounds like a very engaged student body.
Yeah.
What other things do you guys do? Just the student body, because I know we talked about social justice before. So what are some of the initiatives that you guys are involved in for social justice, and how has that translated to your actions, your work at the school? Or are they the same?
Yeah, so we do a lot of things together, but there are some things that we do separately. So one big thing that I'm involved in is youth advocacy, and that is in terms of the out-of-school time sector as well as social justice. So I'm involved in a nonprofit organization here called Kalamazoo Youth Development Network, and we do a lot of work around amplifying youth voice and just kind of giving youth agency to be who they are, say what they want, and things like that. So I've gotten a lot of great opportunities to lead and serve through KidNet, which I'm forever grateful for.
Yeah, I'm familiar with KidNet.
Are you? Okay,
Yeah,
yes. Wonderful group of people. And then I have a couple of positions at the state level as well, on a couple of youth councils. So yeah, trying to kind of use my voice where
so what are some of two or three of your biggest issues as a youth advocate? What are maybe two or three issues that you're really pushing besides gun violence?
Sure. Give me a moment to think.
Okay, no worries. While Paul is thinking, Savannah, what about you and your activism, either personally or at Loy Norrix?
Yeah, a lot of my work is rooted in just starting at school and then bringing that to the kind of the community, or kind of connecting a lot of things to what's going on in my personal circle, which is usually at school. But I do a lot of work even outside. But I know, like, I've been involved with some of the councils that Paul has been on, like the Michigan After School Youth Council, and I've talked to a lot of like even our representatives, like in the county, at like youth advocacy days at the Capitol, or state advocacy days, sorry, where we just bring awareness to some of the issues going on. I'm involved with Youth in Government, which is a school club, but they do a lot of work just connecting the students, and a position which I hold as being a presiding officer with the people that do run this state and run our communities, so we can address our issues and then get connections there and then moving forward.
Tell me about those issues.
Yeah.
I want to get to the issues. When I was growing up, it might have been, we were concerned about our principal. When I was in high school, the principal retired that we had, Mr. Colby, centuries ago. And then they brought in another principal, did not ask the student body, and we felt we were put upon. And we knew he had a reputation, and we walked out. We just walked out of school down to the Board of Education. And we demanded that he have a meeting with us to address our concerns, and he did. And he implemented some of our concerns. So that was one of the issues that we had. And then we had another issue with teen pregnancy. Yeah. So we had a campaign against that. No, it was not against it, but it was just trying to inform, give information, and help give a safe space so that people could come together to talk about what was going on. And that was very, very, very controversial at that time, but it was something that the students felt that was important to them. So if you could put your hands, I know you talked about gun violence, but are there other things that, like maybe voter registration, 18-year-olds, are they voting?
Yeah, I think, I know voting actually is a big thing that we kind of talk about every year at the Youth and Government conferences. There's actually been a rise, and I think just kind of like the anger that like the nation is just showing about politics in general. And I think my generation specifically is actually doing a lot to up their voting numbers and getting out to the polls. And I know I've actually had a lot of people come up to me like, I want to register to vote and get in the midterms. Just kind of the people that I put myself around that are passionate about changing the narrative and changing what's going on. An issue in the past that a lot of people have talked about is like the diversity in high level learning. That's been an issue that we talked about for the past couple of years. You and I, Norrix is just.
Can you explain that for our listener? Diversity in higher level classes. So that would be like your AP classes, your honors classes. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So I actually attended a institution, a part of KPS called KMZ, or a Kalamazoo Area Math and Science Center. And one of the first things that I noticed getting in there, I don't attend there anymore, but one of the first things that I noticed when I was attending there was the lack of people that looked like me. What KMZ does is they have students you take a placement test in your 8th grade year, and you take another course of like intro tests and kind of like application forms and things that you fill out, and then you wait to get accepted for you would start your in high school. And there's all these districts. They come from Portage, Vicksburg, Galesburg, Parchment, Portage, KPS, all these different districts. But in my class, there was only 2 fully black students, and now they both of us have actually have dropped from the program. And and you don't see like that representation for something that they always like as a district that they complain about is seeing these low numbers of diversity in these classes such as AP or IB or ATIP, academically talented youth program, or
why do you think that is, that the numbers are so low?
It starts definitely in elementary school. It's definitely it's a, what's the word I'm looking for? It starts young, like it's an issue that starts from how they grow up, and it's just a matter of people not catching the issue early or not addressing
Do you think that the children are challenged?
I don't think the administration is doing enough to put challenges in front of students of different diversity. I think the parents that know that their kids can be something are like pushing them into these spaces that aren't always open for kids that don't even know they're there, which are Black students normally.
That's a question that I have. And I'm going to be very careful with the way I say this. Too often, I think there's an assumption about the kind of student who can excel.
Yep.
There's an unspoken bias.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I fight against that. You don't know what you can do until you try to do something. And if all you're given is a piece of paper to fill out or draw a picture or fill in the blank, how do you learn to write?
Yeah.
Yep.
How do you learn to write a sentence? And then how do you learn to write an essay if no one is insisting that you write?
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a problem with that. I was a high school English teacher for 19 years.
Sure.
My students wrote.
Yeah.
Yep.
It didn't matter what you wanted to do. These were my expectations.
Yes.
And Dr. King talked about the soft bigotry of low expectations. And I don't know if you guys have ever, I'm sure you haven't experienced it, but have you seen any classmates or in some classes where, oh, okay, I'm going to just pass out this paper and talk to me now. Don't hush up, because this is a platform. Oh, tell it.
Yeah.
I'll go first really quick.
Okay.
The transition from moving from going full-time or going part-time at KMZ and Norrix, I noticed to going to full-time at Norrix, I noticed there was a transition of how teachers kind of cared. Like the teachers are very caring, the staff is super caring, but the system that's set up is kind of breaking them from kind of noticing what's going on, like when it comes to the like diversity aspect. They try their best to talk to the administrators, but they still are kind of stuck in their ways in that aspect. And so where was I going? When I transitioned fully to Norrix, you can see that teachers you can see that they have biases. They have certain ways of thinking or thinking of students of a certain demographic, even if you haven't even met them or you haven't even seen them in a class before. So, and it's usually in like the AP versus the regular classes.
Yes.
And oftentimes administration will just take that as another, or whenever there's like issues, they think it's an issue with something that the students are doing rather than the teachers. And that's kind of what I think implemented like this heavy phone ban that's even going on in other states and in Michigan too.
Yes.
And just kind of worrying about the wrong things as a whole is what I think is the root of that issue. Just worrying about what you think is going on rather than what is actually going on.
keeping, and would you say that a part of that might just be keeping the focus on making sure every student reaches his or her potential?
Yeah.
Paul, what do you think about this part of the conversation?
Yeah, I think it's almost that teachers, that as if they don't have enough time. And I say that in air quotations because one, Loy Norrix, I believe all of the high schools in KPS went from a trimester schedule to a semester schedule. So the classes are a lot shorter. We used to have 5 classes, which were, 110 minutes? 70 minutes?
5 classes, yes.
Oh, okay. Oops, my bad. But now they're much shorter, and the class sizes are the same. The workload is pretty similar as well, at least in my experience. So I think that teachers, they don't have enough time to give students that one-on-one support that they may need to be encouraged. But however, I'm going to combat that by saying a lot of these teachers, at least at Loy Norrix, have gone out of their way to stay at the after-school program for something that we call AAC, Academic Achievement Center, I believe, where they can work with students one-on-one and give them that one-on-one support. But then again, on the other hand, I will also say it's about student agency as well. So it's almost about your personal goals. Who is building you up, who's not at school? Like, are your parents over here supporting you? Are they giving you, are they supporting your growth mindset? Are you getting support from, people outside of your family? Because your family is a big part of it, but then also outsiders who are the ones who can also, push you forward too. So I also think that I'm not sure where like the mindset comes from, but I know a lot of students that I've talked to almost have this feeling of, oh, we're going to school and then we're going to go home. Like, they're very separate. It's like, it's not that serious. Like, that's kind of the phrase that I've heard thrown around about school and education. And some students would never have this opportunity to receive the level of education that we have for the past 12 years. So I almost am kind of wondering, like, where is the disconnect between students and school?
I wonder.
I can't lay my finger on it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because education will take you very, very far.
Very far.
And I
Indeed.
feel, students have that in the forefront of their mind, but it's still not the goal, their aspiration, their main drive. It's like, I need to be at school for this 6 hours while I'm here, and I'm going to go home and forget about it.
Yes,
I think a lot of things, or a lot of people, or like this saying can apply to a lot of things, that it takes a village, but if any part of that village, even like teachers, school, administration, what's going on at home, if any of that is off course, then it can cause like just detrimental effects for how a student views education or how they go about their education.
What is your responsibility in that? As leaders, as student leaders, do you feel that is part of your charge?
I think
other students.
Yeah.
Who's going to advocate for that student who might not see the relevance of connecting school time with out of school time?
Yeah.
Who's going to advocate for them? Because we can blame parents till the cows come home.
Absolutely,
Right?
Yeah.
But we do what we know. You guys have got a lot. I mean, you talked about your privilege of having this community, so I'm just putting it out there. What do you think? What can youth leaders like you who are at the table, how can you advocate for the least of us?
I think it's a big part of our, it's our responsibility to be a student voice, especially for those who either don't know how to use their voice or have never used their voice. We put ourselves in this position because we wanted to see change, because we wanted to make change, and it is our responsibility to fulfill that. And if we see there's a disparity, it would be more harmful for us to not say anything or not do the work that we put ourselves into, than to do something and possibly get shut down. But it is definitely key for us to be doing something about it.
And I know it's a big problem. I didn't mean to just say boom.
No,
but yes, I did mean to say boom. Because I think that noblesse oblige, which means to whom much is given, much is expected.
Absolutely.
You step into this role. what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
You know, when I was in school, in the Stone Age, once again.
Well, you certainly don't look like it.
Yes, Stone Age, once again. But there were students, not every student was on the same level.
Right.
But in Miss Miller's class, everybody was going to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I know we didn't have cell phones, but we had other things. We were still kids.
Yeah.
In Miss Dotson's class, everybody was going. In Miss Young's class, oh, you were definitely going to learn.
Yeah.
I know things are different. Paul, what do you think about that? What is your response? You are you are the man in charge. I go to Loy Norrix, you're in the office, you're making the announcements, everybody respects you. I just met you, Savannah, because of Paul. He's like, oh, I'm going, Savannah's going too. Yes. So I'm like, cool. And I'm so happy to have you both. But Paul, people look up to you.
Sure. Yeah.
What is your responsibility to these other students?
I think the leadership style that I've kind of harbored throughout the years is making leaders, is letting students know that they have agency to make their own change. Because at the end of the day, I can only do so much. I can only say so much. I can only go so far, you know. But if, like, for example, the students who I'm in charge of for Student Advancement Committee at school. Yes. They are all responsible for running their own projects. Like, I'm teaching them how to write cohesive emails. I'm teaching them how to plan projects. I'm teaching them how to, be well-spoken, talk in front of this person. I think it's important to not only keep it all to yourself. When you have the gift, you share it. Yes. Because the more youth that are involved, the more youth that know they have agency, the more youth that raise their voice, the better the world is going to be. Yes. It's up to our generation to change the world. So that's kind of my philosophy and my leadership style.
Oh,
and that's
right.
My responsibility is to bring youth up to where I have gotten myself.
Wonderful.
Thank
we
you.
Need more like you. Because it's that little kid in the back who's acting out, who just needs
and you say, come over here and do this.
Come over here.
Yeah, we're gonna do something different.
Let's try something different. Yeah. Before you know it, you've got a sponge. Somebody who's so excited, somebody noticed me. Yeah. Somebody asked me to do something good rather than something bad. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was in the classroom today, and there was another teacher in the classroom with me. Not that she was the helper, the assistant teacher. And so, being a substitute teacher, you don't want to just take over, because I will take over. Mm-hmm. But you don't want to take over. We had a power outage, so the 6th grade had to stay in through 6th hour, had to stay in through the end of the day. So they were with us for 2 periods. And they were antsy. So I just said, I can't take it anymore. Hey, guys, we're going to do a skit. We're going to do some improv. Yeah. And I asked for volunteers. 5 guys volunteered. I had to call girls, ladies, you got to represent. Come on now, what's going on? Yeah. And several of the guys who had been acting out 6th period got up there and participated, and I saw a totally different side of them. Yeah. When you put them in another environment, you give them an opportunity. Not everybody's going to sit down and, okay, give me the paper, I got it. Some people need to do it a different way. Exactly. And I just feel, I know this is not my program, so I'm going to say this and I'm going to shut up. Education's got to change. The way we do school has got to change if we are serious about educating the masses, seriously educating the masses. Back to you guys. What is your future, Paul?
Career-wise?
What do you want to do life-wise?
Yeah.
Because if you make your life your passion, you got a fabulous career.
Yes. So I recently, I wouldn't say recent. I'm going to go into my career first, because my career is kind of my passion. I feel like my purpose. So I have a huge passion for serving people and helping people. And at first, when I was younger, I was kind of looking at careers of like doctor, therapist, stuff like that. But then I stumbled across the career that is funeral service. So It's kind of interesting, especially for somebody my age. But I'm an aspiring funeral director and grief therapist, and yeah, I just kind of want to serve in that avenue because losing someone is one of the hardest things that somebody could experience, and I just want to be there.
Mortuary science.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yeah.
That is so interesting.
Yes.
Now, what was your pathway into that again?
Yeah, so I can't even lay my finger on it. I was just telling my mom the other day, I was like, Mom, I don't feel like there is really one thing that I can lay my finger on that made me want to go into mortuary science other than wanting to serve people. It's a lot of the job is hospitality.
It
a lot
is.
of it is paying
Yeah.
attention to the small details. A lot of it is
Yes.
catching things that others won't catch.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm very detail oriented, so I could kind of thrive in that.
That is wonderful,
Thank you.
Paul.
Thank you.
And that is not something you hear a lot of young people saying that they want to do.
Right. Yes. I do
Oh.
currently work at a funeral home in Battle Creek.
Okay.
But yeah, and then this summer I'll be starting my full-time apprenticeship. So we're moving on up very quickly. Seems unreal, but we're almost there.
And then are you going to go and pursue a degree in that?
Yes, ma'am. Yep, at Wayne State University.
At Wayne State,
yep.
you've already researched and found that they have the program there.
Yes. Yep. Mhm.
Oh.
And it's covered by the Kalamazoo Promise too.
Well,
so.
all right, you're so smart.
Thank you.
It would be nice to have a career fair, a job fair at
Yeah.
Loy Norrix. Do you guys have that?
We kind of do.
We have like a college fair, which they introduce jobs and their alternate pathways. So
Okay.
including like going into the military or
Jobs
going
are
to a trade.
alternate. Oh,
Yeah.
college and alternate.
Yeah.
What about just a post-high school fair?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
they've kind of moved
Okay.
to that, like just
Okay.
post-secondary.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've pretty much moved it to that.
Cool.
And they Loy Norrix and I think KPS does a good job at pushing that. Like we have CTE classes and we have ways that you can kind of figure out what you want to do. After
Cool.
high school.
Cool. So what are you going to do?
My passions have obviously changed throughout the years, but something that even before I started high school and got super involved with like my community is just being a voice, and what my motto has kind of accumulated to is being the change that I want to see. And I'm still kind of figuring out. I think that I want to end up doing something kind of intermingling both the medical side and like the political side. A lot of my family are actually doctors. My brother's an anesthesiologist right now in DC, and my mom being an NP, like I've kind of seen that medical side, and I appreciate the effort that they take into their craft and their work, and how like much time it takes, and how much they care about just like getting to that point, which is being a specialist or being a doctor. But something that's been interesting to me kind of more just being in high school and doing all the things that I do is being an advocate, or an activist. So getting into either like international relations or even like public health, something along those lines, just being for the people. And kind of doing also, like, I want to continue education for definitely probably a long time. I do want to get my JD and my MD.
JDMIMD?
JD and my MD.
Oh,
sorry.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So just kind of doing things that I'm passionate about while also continuing to learn is what I want to do.
Okay.
I'm in between, like, for college, in between going probably to Wayne or Western, but also an HBCU is my dream.
Yeah.
Just kind of depending on how much money I get from, like, scholarships and such.
Okay.
But yeah, I've applied to a few, and so.
What do you want to study?
I've applied to mostly like biology, pre-med. But I'm definitely, like I said, open to international relations or pre-law, kind of along those lines, doing something political for sure, because I definitely want to change what's going on now.
Cool. Let me ask you a personal question. What really makes you tick? What is your spark? What can you do for hours and not get bored that does not impact anybody but you? What is your personal spark? I ask all the young people, especially in the elementary school, what's your spark? And like, you're crazy.
I think for me, music like has always been a big part of my life. I played piano for like most of my life. I stopped doing it like kind of competitively back in middle school, but even just learning about new music and kind of that aspect is something that I kind of do for myself and not anybody else, but that's a big thing.
Why has that not entered this conversation? This is the first time I really saw you smile from the heart.
It's
music.
Yeah, it's definitely like a safe place for me, is like listening to music and connecting with other people with music. It's just such a beautiful thing, and it's something rooted definitely deeply in our culture. I'll definitely say it. And you can definitely feel a lot of things, you can learn a lot of things, and you can
advocate.
Yeah, you can.
Stevie Wonder is one of the most powerful advocates through his music.
One thing I'll say definitely is that
as was Nina Simone. I don't know if you know about Nina Simone, but she told the story through her music, and she rallied people. It was the music of the 60s that fed the civil rights movement. So you want to be an advocate, writing songs, especially songs today, to inspire young people? Oh my gosh.
I would say always that art is very political, and music is definitely a form of art, and I appreciate what those, like, in the past, like during all those movements that have done in that aspect, and it's beautiful to listen to, it's beautiful to read about, and to see even happening now. Like, even just on Sunday, the Super Bowl, and
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, seeing Bad Bunny, and even last year's Super Bowl, seeing Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Be political in what they're standing for what is going on, and not taking all the ridicule that's going on nationally, and just letting it pass by, not assimilating to like all of the hurt and the pain that people want to cause just because of how you view like how your politics are.
Taking all that, being creative and giving it back to you in another way that soothes the spirit and still inspires and challenges us to do something. Not just talk about it, but do something. So, oh my God, I think we made a breakthrough. Paul, what can you do for hours and not get tired and just feeds your soul?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I'd say is traveling. Actually, traveling and visiting new places and visiting new people and making connections. I'm just a huge people person. I'm a lover of the human race. And whenever I can, like, have the extra long conversation with the person who's checking me out at the grocery store, or, you know, oh my gosh, your dog is so cute, that turns into, oh, do you know this person, that person, and the third. I think it's just really important to make those connections with people you don't see every day, because that could take you very far. And it's fun to hear people's stories, and just laugh, and just be in community with people all the time. Yeah, I just love to talk, basically.
Indeed. So, Paul, as you're thinking about, and I'm not saying you can't do whatever you want to do, because I've had 1,000 jobs over my lifetime, and I've enjoyed each one of them. I'm telling you, I really have.
Yeah.
Mortuary science and being a funeral director is not going to put you in a place where you can just have good conversations with people.
Sure.
So, both of you guys think there are 24 hours in a day. I can sleep 8. I got to take out a few minutes to eat. You know, this is once you're out of college. I can do 3 other things that are very important to me in this day.
Yeah.
I can play the piano. I can go and help somebody's heart, take their blood pressure and all that stuff. I can do this other thing. I can rally a group of young people. I can go out there in the community center and teach young people about using their voice. Or I can go in and make sure that these children who are in the back of the room understand you can be in the front of the room. There's 3 things you can do. One of them is your passion. One of them is what you say you want to do to make money. The other one connects to advocacy. So just because you choose a career, and the average person has 5 different careers in lifetime.
Sure.
Keep that in mind as you go forward. If you could look into a crystal ball, and see yourself 20 years from now, what do you see? Take your time. And I want it to be something that surprises and delights you. Something that's, I love that term. What surprises and delights you? One thing that surprised and delighted me today was stepping outside that school, and it was 40-something degrees.
The weather's beautiful, yeah.
Yes. So always look for things to surprise and delight you, and then acknowledge those things. So we got the crystal ball. We're all looking into the crystal ball. What do you see? What do you see? Ooh.
Yeah, I kind of see myself being more free-spirited than ever. Like, at that point, I'd hope to be established in my career, going on as many trips as I want, meeting lots of new people.
Where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself going?
I really
specifically.
I really want to go to Jamaica. I just want to experience that tropical vibe, just kind of let loose, not in the United States. There's only so much I can say because I can't look super far down 20 years.
Yes, you can.
You think so?
I challenge you. You don't have to do it right now.
Yeah.
But get a pencil and a piece of paper.
Okay.
I don't know if you keep journals. I've been keeping a journal forever. Write it down. Whatever, and just let yourself dream. Write it down. Anything, no matter how crazy.
Okay.
And then look back at it in a year. You'd be surprised how many things you've accomplished.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Savannah, 20 years in that crystal ball, what do you see?
I see myself, I think finally doing like what I want, but for myself. That was all over.
Specific.
But
I need something specific. I'm at home with 2 babies and a husband who loves me and a beautiful home.
But
that's just the kind of specificity.
I see me having my
Specificity?
Yeah.
Specificity.
No, specific. Anyway, you guys get it out there. We'll get it together next week. Okay.
Definitely having my own home. Also traveling. I love traveling. I've been out of the country a couple times. Yeah. It's just so beautiful outside of this home. But I think the first thing that when you said that, I just see myself in like a beautiful car, like just driving to doing whatever I love.
What do you love?
I don't know,
You're not giving me specific specificity. Specifics.
Going to my like capital job, I guess, or
why are you so afraid to claim it?
I don't know, because I can't think. Or actually, my dream would be for me and Paul to have a office where if like I'm doing medical malpractice and he's doing
medical malpractice. Now you're a lawyer?
Well, yeah, if I get my JD and my MD.
Okay.
And Paul's doing, what is it? Mortuary?
A funeral attorney. Like an end-of-life attorney.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have an office together.
We have really morphed during this conversation. And that's good. Write it all down. It all down. Yes.
Yeah. Or something along those lines. Having my own practice or having my own firm.
Yeah.
And yes, just helping other people.
Okay. And what do both? We're going to end. Oh, I got 1 minute. What do you see yourself doing just for you? I know yours is traveling.
Traveling,
Is that it?
absolutely.
Traveling. What do you
Yes,
see
ma'am.
yourself doing just for Savannah? 10, 20 years from now. Just makes you smile, makes you happy.
I think going to concerts. I think implementing music, like actually appreciating music. From
Something to do with music.
Yeah.
Coming back to music. Well, guys, I appreciate you
Thank
for
you.
sharing this time with me.
Absolutely, and I appreciate
You
you
have
having us.
you
I
have
appreciate you
really
so much.
opened my mind about the schools, about young people, about advocacy, about all the work you're doing, and I know you're going to achieve every dream you've ever dreamed.
Thank you.
You got
appreciate
the
it.
power. Now we got to pass that power on.
Yes, ma'am.
We got to
Yes.
inspire other young people. And I'm inspiring you out there in audience land. Learn somebody else's story and tell your story. Until next time, I'm Marvinetta Penn with All Stories Matter.